Take a deep breath, because after this video, you will never look at a piece of chicken the same way again. Before we begin, drop a comment telling me which city you're rewatching from, and write, "I want the truth." That helps me understand who's ready for this kind of conversation. Let's get straight to it. When you think of chicken, you probably imagine a healthy, lean protein recommended by nutritionists. Something better than red meat, right? But the reality is this. Behind the scenes of the food industry, chicken has become one of the most manipulated, accelerated, and least transparent foods on the market. And what you about to hear isn't opinion, it is based on facts recognized by doctors, researchers, and food safety agencies. And of course, before making any dietary changes, always seek guidance from a qualified health professional. The story begins with a simple question. Why is chicken getting bigger, cheaper, and more present on your plate than ever before? The answer is, because the industry has transformed chicken into a highly controlled, heavily modified product, treated more like a production machine than a natural food. Decades ago, a chicken needed almost 3 months to reach the ideal size for processing. Today, in many industrial farms, that same chicken reaches full size in just 5 to 7 weeks. It's not magic, not natural genetics, and not improved efficiency. It's induced acceleration. Scientists call it intensive genetic selection. In reality, these are animals made to grow so fast that many of them can barely support their own weight. And here comes the first red flag. An animal that grows too fast tends to be a less healthy animal, and a less healthy animal produces lower quality meat. But that's just the beginning. In the United States, millions of tons of chicken go through a process few consumers know about. The chicken is chilled in large tanks of water, mixed with chemicals like chlorine. This is allowed and used to reduce bacteria. But here's the part rarely mentioned. During this process, some of that chemical water gets absorbed into the meat, meaning that fresh-looking chicken you buy may contain a significant amount of retained water, and you're repaying for that water as if it were meat. It's not exactly a secret, but it's something the industry doesn't advertise. And speaking of bacteria, here's another uncomfortable truth. Studies show that a significant percentage of chickens sold in the US contain some level of contamination from Salmonella or Campylobacter. This doesn't mean you will get sick. Proper cooking eliminates the risk, but it means handling raw chicken requires extreme caution. Statistically, chicken is one of the leading causes of foodborne illness in the country. So here's a safety reminder. Cook chicken thoroughly. Never rinse raw chicken in the sink, and always follow professional food safety recommendations. Now let's go deeper into the world of invisible additives. Many companies inject sodium, phosphates, and other substances to improve texture, enhance flavor, and increase the weight of the product. You think you're buying natural chicken, but you may be paying for salty water, tenderizers, and additives that, when consumed frequently, can contribute to high blood pressure and fluid retention. And here's the catch. Even products labeled natural can still contain these injected solutions, as long as the label discloses it, even though most consumers don't understand what it means. Now prepare for this. Many Americans believe all chicken in the US is raised with hormones, but no, hormones are banned. That doesn't mean the chicken is raised cleanly. What actually happens is the widespread use of antibiotics in some farms to prevent disease in overcrowded environments. And despite stricter regulations in recent years, specialists still debate the long-term impact of such antibiotics on bacterial resistance and on the consumer's microbiome. And when we talk about processed chicken, the truth gets even more uncomfortable. Nuggets, patties, pre-marinated strips, and industrial chicken products may contain mixed trimmings, stabilizers, fillers, sodium, flavor enhancers, and ingredients created solely to make the product more palatable and far less healthy. The idea that chicken is always a fit food disappears the moment you read the label. And here's something you may have never noticed. Today's chicken barely tastes like chicken anymore. That milder, neutral, standardized flavor is not an accident. It's the result of industrial processes, controlled diets, genetic selection, and in some cases, permitted flavoring solutions used in processed products. The original taste has been replaced by a flavor that appeals to the majority. Not natural, but efficient. And here comes one of the most impactful revelations. Many American experts have observed that the extreme standardization of chicken has altered its nutritional profile over the decades. Some studies show changes in fat composition and omega-6 levels when compared to chickens raised traditionally or organically. It's not that industrial chicken is poison, but it is a deeply transformed food, far from what it was 40 or 50 years ago. And here's the question almost no one asks. If the industry can modify food this much, what else is it controlling without consumers noticing? This isn't conspiracy, it's just a reminder that the system is massive, efficient, and designed for high-volume production, not necessarily for optimal quality. Before you swear you'll never eat chicken again, take a breath. The goal is not to demonize it, but to create awareness. Chicken can be healthy as long as you know what you're rebuying and how you're recooking it. If you truly love chicken and want a cleaner option, look for labels like organic, antibiotic-free, pasture-raised, or buy from small local farms. And again, always talk to a medical professional or nutritionist before changing your diet. But here's something almost no one notices: the difference between raw chicken and ready-to-cook chicken sold in many American supermarkets. Some products labeled ready-to-cook have already gone through processes involving synthetic marinades, flavor enhancers, and stabilizers that keep the meat looking pink and fresh. Most consumers have no idea that this appealing color docility comes naturally. It comes from added substances designed to make the product look better. Visual manipulation is a silent strategy. If the consumer likes what they see, they don't ask questions. And to complete this picture, more and more specialists are discussing the environmental impact of industrial chicken production. Large-scale farming generates massive waste, consumes enormous amounts of water, and produces emissions few people associate with chicken, because chicken is marketed as light and sustainable. But behind the scenes, the reality is far more aggressive. When you truly understand how everything works, you realize this discussion isn't only about health, it's about transparency, responsibility, and informed choices. That's why, once again, always seek professional guidance and learn where your food comes from. Information is power, and now you have far more than the industry ever wanted you to have. Take care of your health. Question what ends up on your plate, and I'll see you in the next video.